Kelly Sanchez is a singer and instrumentalist who specializes in soul music, covering great artists like Marvin Gaye, Jill Scott, and Alicia Keys. I talk one-on-one with Kelly about what she's working on right now for this edition of Quintin's Close-Ups, sponsored by Saltwater Cowboys on Shem Creek. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my YouTube channel and like Quintin's Close-Ups on Facebook. Kelly Sanchez, welcome to Quintin's Close-Ups for this particular interview, sponsored by Saltwater Cowboys on Shem Creek.
Thank you. It was nice to be with you.
Oh, I appreciate it greatly. Needless to say, Kelly, you are a dynamic singer and instrumentalist specializing in soul music, covering great artists such as Marvin Gaye, Stevie Wonder, Jill Scott, of course, Amy Winehouse, and Alicia Keys, just to name a few. So tell me, what's new, what's now with Kelly Sanchez's music?
Well, I am working again with my band called Crane Style, and I'm really excited. We have a residency at Tiki Taco on Main Street in Somerville, so we're up there once a month, and we started out as a trio, and I'm working with Hop, Sean Beckner, most people know him as Hop, and Carl Anderson, and we're working on writing. We're back in rehearsals. We're writing, looking forward to recording again real soon, and working with some different guitarists and saxophone players. Crane Style is kind of a collective. There's a lot of different people that have been a part of it over the years, and it's just really exciting to get back to the creative process again.
What is the biggest difference about that creative process from when you all started to write now, Kelly?
I think the biggest difference right now is that it's a little bit more collaborative. 5 years ago, when we released our EP, it was music that I wrote and then presented to the guys and said, I did like scratch recordings at home that, is a means for everybody to learn the material. But of course, I said, this is just the idea. I want you to put your creative spin on it. And they did, and I was really happy with it. The difference now being that, some of the songs that we'll be recording are things that I wrote, same kind of process, but there's more interaction in terms of development of the material and everybody putting their own spin on it again. And it's just exciting, but working together. Hop has written a lot of material too that we're, going to hammer out the final details together. And I love the process. And it's good for me to have that core be just even a little bit more consistent. It's hard when you're playing cover shows to keep the same people because everybody works with everybody. And even with this kind of more consistent core that we're rehearsing and writing, there's still going to be shows where it's not the same lineup. Again, that's where the collective comes in. I like to say I have a deep bench, and I just really love everybody that's been a part of it. And so in some ways it's kind of fun to bring back different people in, and remember why I love them, and the excitement of being surprised on stage too. Nothing is, whatever we do, whether, no matter who I'm playing with and whether it's a Crane Style thing or if it's a different kind of ensemble, one of the things that I like most is sort of letting things happen in the moment. And that anybody could, while they're soloing, maybe take the vibe in a different place. Or maybe not even when they're soloing, but just, as we're jamming out, that every time it's a little bit different. Even when we're playing covers. When we're playing originals, even more so. Because they're really created with that space in mind.
You mentioned it a little bit just a second ago, Kelly. But who is Kelly Sanchez and Crane Styles on stage in the moment?
Oh, who am I and Crane Style on stage in the moment? I don't know. It's like a ride, Yeah, I mean, there's a certain element of improvisation to it. I endeavor not to sing things exactly the same way every time, to keep it fresh.
Yes.
Um, and we're doing some jobs where we have the opportunity to not just entertain bachelorettes, even though I do love that too. But it's one thing to kind of play the expected um, party music in a party type atmosphere. And we're having some more chances to be able to develop that more. Well, the kids these days, they call it chill, the
Yeah.
neo soul stuff, to play that chill music, right? And it still has this, yeah, but to be able to play things that are a little more like, as opposed to, you know,
Exactly, exactly.
yeah.
Well, let me ask you this, Miss Kelly. Who is your audience?
It's interesting. I mean, of course, your job as an entertainer is to play to the audience that you have, right? But I am hoping to kind of find our audience for our style, right? And I definitely want to do things that are more outside the box. Like playing around with harmonies in a way that's less predictable, or yeah, definitely not what you would normally hear in a pop song, but to still make it accessible, like something that people can still vibe to. Um, but even having said that, it's not for everybody, but of course, we're always going to throw some things in there, that are for everybody. I've got fun footage from the stage of people singing along "Killing Me Softly" or "Sunday Morning" or something like that. And that is super fun. We do like to get the audience. It is fun to get people dancing, but I think even more, I want to explore that more interesting harmonic space. We're very inspired by like Robert Glasper, as an example. And for me, like even Debussy, like, chordal harmonies, kind of plain old things. And again, though, like really trying to still make it something that people can vibe to or dance to or feel it, and to find our audience, um, trying to be more intentional. I hired somebody to help me with the social media to kind of find that the people that our music is going to resonate with, right? That our audience um, shouldn't just be, the people that we run into in Charleston. I think that's kind of, I guess, my aim for this year.
And you talk about obviously hiring somebody for social media so that you can find the music that obviously resonates with people.
Mhm.
What local artists does your music resonate with?
Local artists that my music resonates with.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Well, working with Christian Denise,
Okay.
and so we're collaborating on some stuff too. That's another thing. But yeah, I think there are people that enjoy playing with me in part um, because it is interesting, because it isn't the same old stuff. So a lot of people are familiar with David Sink. He's one of my collaborators as well. And yeah, so we have a really fun time, because we might be jamming with something, and then we'll be like, okay, now how can we take this even more off the beaten path together, or something like, or what, even when we performed at the Performing Arts Center during the shutdown. Sorry, that's my piano. Uh, gestured into my piano. That we were collaborating together on some things that we only performed there, and it's difficult to get a consistent group together to do something that has meter changes or something, like, it's in cut time, but then it goes into a 5/8 part,
Yeah.
and to just, yeah. But even when something's in 5, I still want people to be able to kind of like be able to go, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So I guess that's sort of, I don't know if I'm answering your questions, super well, but yeah, there's so many people that I love working with, and it's really cool to see some of the younger people,
Yes.
that I've. Interesting. Zeke Freak was really funny because when I finally got a chance to play with him, I guess it was last year, he said, "Man, I've been following Crane Style since I was young." He's so young still, but I think he got into Henry's before he was supposed to.
Oh, that.
Right, right. But to enjoy the music,
Yes,
and
yes.
yeah, and yeah. So I think there are other people in Charleston that are trying to do this. I suppose the soul, not just neo soul, which isn't so new anymore,
Right.
but kind of that future soul, kind of this jazz adjacent, cool vibes kind of stuff. And there's so many people that I've enjoyed seeing other people do this. Liz Kelly is someone that I've seen and hope to be able to play with her one of these days. She's got a very cool vibe, and kind of going with like a lot of those same sort of artists and that same kind of way of taking a cover tune and like we do just the two of us, but we do it as a salsa.
There you go.
We do this song Latch, which was a Sam Smith song that Disclosure did. I mean, this is years back, but they did it as an EDM remix, and we do it as kind of with a reggae beat. So, I mean, just having fun with that and not kind of to do things that are familiar, but to kind of put a spin on it. And there's a lot of people locally who I feel like are doing similar things. And I've had a chance to play with a lot of cool people. Gino Castillo and I used to play together as a duo a lot, but he engineered our last project, and it's always a joy to work with him.
Yes.
So I'm hopeful to find new spaces where we can kind of be creative and kind of do our thing,
Yes.
and it's always like real joy. When we play at the Commodore, for example, that's a space where we really have that freedom to stretch out and do our thing. And yes, of course, but you gotta. David says you gotta. What was the word he used? Oh man, a peace offering. That's how he put it. Every once in a while, right? You can't, and again, like I mean, some of that is, it's even one of my songs. I have that sort of tension about that in the lyrics. The show and the art intersect the ellipses, the head and the heart. Which one eclipses determines receptions and rejections, and impressions and all that sort of thing. So it's right. You wanna put on a good show, but you want to be an artist. And those things can be in tension depending on where you're headed with it. I don't know. Did I answer the question?
Yeah, you did. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm just sitting there, you're learning a whole lot. And that's really, really amazing. Which one of those songs from your collection, Miss Kelly, really really describes you as a person?
From my EP, I guess that's probably the one. It's called Stature of the Crane, and so like once I landed on the name for the band, Crane Style, which finding a band name is hard, but once I chose it, I said, okay, let me lean into that. Crane Style is in the Kung Fu style, right? And and I did martial arts. I got my black belt back in 2018, but the stature of the crane is a form. So in martial arts, you kind of do these series of moves, sort of like choreography, right? To practice the techniques. And so stature of the crane is one that includes that crane style. And but so it's sort of like it's my moving meditation. So that course is really just about doing the form, right? To be in the, it's like a way of meditating in a way. You're not sitting still, but you're very much in the moment doing the thing. But then, then it's a bit confessional. Because say the spirit of the crane resides in the stillness, float like a butterfly over the crisis. And like Ali, float like a butterfly, sing like, float like a butterfly over the crisis. I could sting like a snake, but I say snake because that's another style. But I hate the conflict. I'm dangerous, but I shy from the critics. Wow. It's and then the second verse again, sort of like talking about that, like these things that can be intention for you as an artist. Fit in a box, but do it uniquely. Tell the truth, but say it obliquely. The show and the art intersect the ellipses, as I said before. That you're like you want to be fitting a genre. I mean, I'm not trying to, be completely there, right? So it's easier to say, hey, what does your band do? And I'll say, soul and pop. Just because if you say a little bit of everything, you've said nothing. And then if you try to really explain in too much detail, so yeah, so you want to fit into a box, that you can describe, but then you don't want to be stuck in that box, so fit it in a box, but do it in your own way. Yes. And when I say tell the truth, but say it obliquely, I mean, I don't want to be preachy. A lot of my music is written from me philosophizing or, reflecting on things. But yeah, I don't want to just say, you broke my heart. I want to say something more poetic or, I don't know. That's why I say obliquely, I want to, like the one, sort of like sad love song, Yeah. I don't just say you broke my heart. I say, I don't want to drown, but I can't stay feeling so dry, and I don't want to burn, but I can't stay feeling so cold. Why can't we be something in between?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And Kelly, how do you want people to describe your music and the Crane Style Band in the next 5 years?
I want people to say that it's cool and interesting and dope. I don't know. I would want somebody. Hey, man, you gotta check this out. That, and I feel like, I think there's a world out there of people that dig the style of music that we do, and it's not for me. It's not about whatever. Maybe other people might think I was making it.
Right.
To me, making it is just just spreading out my wings, crane style. To just find the people that it does resonate with, and that it would be some, it is interesting that that people will talk to us after a show and say how much it meant to them. And sometimes I feel like, oh, that was a show, like, okay, we did that. And someone will say like how much it meant to them to have a song that they requested play, or just that they had a bad day and that like this meant something, or just that, oh my God, you guys are, like that was so cool. It was different. Like so cool that you don't do the same songs that everybody's doing. Man, I love that artist that you covered or something like that. That's one of my favorite songs. Just whatever. Every once in a while, I feel like my job is frivolous or self-serving. Because there's people out there, curing cancer or something, and I'm singing songs.
That can heal people.
Yeah, and then it's not even necessarily about just, oh, I said something in my song. It's not necessarily about being messagey or something. It's just music, right? It's just the music itself. That you sometimes, just by letting somebody forget about what's going on. So yeah, I'm feeling like it's time. It's time to spread that love, spread our proverbial crane style wings. I do this thing, like Daniel style, but you can't see it in this frame. But
right, that is really, really, really amazing. Well, singer and instrumentalist, and of course with the Crane Style Band, Kelly Sanchez. Thank you so much for your time. And again, welcome to Quintin's Post House for this particular interview, sponsored by Saltwater Cowboys on Shimp Creek.
Thank you so much.
Oh, you're very welcome.